So now I'm going to make an Indian cup of tea. That's the Punjabi cup of tea, okay? So basically, you need a saucepan. Patila, we call it in Punjabi. Give it a good rinse, okay? So you put the water in and yeah, that's my English cup of tea on the side. Indians don't drink single cups of tea. When we make tea for the whole family. The whole family may not want to drink the tea, but we just make it like for the whole family and then end up drinking it all ourselves, okay? So you put the salt water in the saucepan, just turning off the tap. So the water goes into the saucepan, okay? The saucepan is there, and at the same time, we turn on the gas. The gas is on, okay? So with an English cup of tea, you boil the water, and then you put the tea bags in. So this is the water, because the tea, so the saucepan is, oh, excuse me, and then goes into the desired number of tea bags, okay? So depending on which tea you use, it can matter. So you put your desired number of tea bags according to the water. So in this water here, a level of that saucepan, level of that much water, I'd probably put 2 tea bags in there. And depends on some tea bags. You can have decaffeinated tea bags, which are not very strong, doesn't really give you the color or the strength of the tea. So it really depends on the tea bags that you're using. PG Tips are quite a good one. Taifu's good with Indians, so we tend to use those two mainly, but Earl Grey and things like those can be used as well. Okay, so 2 tea bags have gone into that water. Okay, so the next thing we put into the saucepan is the desired level of sugar that's needed. Again, some people may not drink sugar, so some people may have tea without sugar, but we do. Okay, so I'm going to put the sugar into the saucepan. So I'm just going to put, this is how much sugar I kind of drink, to be honest. Okay, so again, once again, remember, it's better to put less sugar in now than to worry about it later. Okay, so if you put less in, you can always add more sugar. Okay, so, and the touching spices that I put in my tea, I'm just going to bring you over here to my plate. Okay, so these are the spices. Okay, so as you can see there, I'll take a picture. There's lots of spices there. There's ginger, there's cinnamon, there's cardamom, there is cloves, and some of the spices in there, I don't actually know what they're called in English. So if you can take a look at them, take a picture of them, but you can buy these packets from Indian shops. I bought these from India, but you can buy these packets from Indian shops, and then you can grind them. Okay, so I have some spices that have already been grinded. As you can see, that's exactly, so these are the spices that's been grinded. So these are my ground spices. Okay, so I'm going to take a tiny weeny bit, even for that level of water. That's all I'm going to use here. Okay, so that's it, that's all I'm going to use, and I'm going to put that into the water. Okay, believe me, they are strong. There's such a combination of spices in there. They are strong. They'll put hair on your chest, okay, man or woman. So they are very strong. And to that also, I'm going to add some fennel seeds as well. Okay, saunf, what we call in Punjabi. Okay, again, that's already been grinded down as well, but it doesn't have to be grinded. You can actually put in however you want. Okay, so I might just give it a little tip. That's okay. So these are almost kind of herbal spices, fennel and ginger and cloves. So I sort of have a cup of tea at least once a day, this type of tea, because it just keeps my stomach in shape. Not as in flat shape, but as in healthy inside. I wish I could get a flat stomach. If you know how to get a flat stomach, please just leave a comment down below. So all the spices, everything is in there now. Oh, I forgot to add another little bit into it. Okay, so there goes my ginger. Again, ground ginger, because it's already been grinded before. Yes, I did get that spoon from McDonald's. I think my mom, I'll throw these things away. Well, I leave them to be thrown away, and then my mom kind of like washes them and keeps them. And I bet your mom does that as well. Okay, so everything is in there. So all I'm waiting now, the heat is on underneath, and I'm just waiting for it to boil now. So it all fuses together. Okay, so we'll give it a bit of time for that to happen. And so in your comments box, share your best Indian tea recipes. And please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and share as well. Share the Indian tea making experience with everybody else. It's always great to hear from you. So please do subscribe. And I'm going to wait for this saucepan now for the heat to get to it and to boil. Now some people will put a cover on it. It saves energy because then the steam doesn't get lost in the heat. It starts to come to a boil first quite quickly. But I want you to actually see it bubbling, so hence why I want to leave the cover off. Okay, so it has been approximately probably about I don't know, probably about 2.5 minutes, possibly 3 minutes, depending on the power of your gas. So that's the bigger hub, that's the smaller hub, that's the medium hub. So roughly about that long. So here you go. I can actually smell the herbs and the spices in there. So I'm going to leave this for probably another 40 seconds or even a minute or so the tea can actually come out of the tea bags to physically connect with the spices, and for the spices to physically and emotionally connect with the tea. So they have to go hand in hand. Okay, the flavors, of course, I'm talking about. They may be hugging each other or whatever they're doing, but I wish you could just smell that. It just smells divine. Smells absolutely beautiful. And so I'm just going to get my milk ready for that. But like I said, I'm going to give it about another minute, let it just go. And the other thing I always do with tea is I watch it. You don't have to watch it. You can leave it on the hub and do something else. But I like to watch it. The reason being is if it's boiling or simmering at that rate, the water is going to dry up, and I have burnt many saucepans in my time of tea making. So I'd like to stand by, watch it, and give my love to this tea. Put my heart and my soul into this tea. Okay, so it has been about a minute, I suppose about just over 3 minutes in total, and the tea is taking shape. So now it's time for my milk. Like I said, depends on how much milk to put in, depending on what consistency you like in the thickness of the tea, because this is all going to come together, and the milk makes it that much more denser. So if you don't like too much milk, then the way to judge it, the way I judge it, is the color of the tea when you put the milk in. So again, you use semi-skimmed, skimmed, whichever milk you want to use. It's entirely up to you. And yes, we add the milk into the pot while it's on the hub. Okay, so that color of tea is just perfect for me. Okay, and I haven't lowered the hub. I'm still letting it boil. So now I must stand by the saucepan, because I do not want the milk to boil over, which it has many times. And my mom gives me, well, now she gives me a look. There was a time when she used to give me a slap, and then it gets a bit messy. Then I have to clean the hub and everything. Okay, so there you go. Once again, it's simmered. It's come to that. We have now added the milk. Okay, the milk to your desired level. The tea bags are still in there, the spices, everything is still in there. So now we've added the milk, so it's time for the milk to fuse itself with all the spices and the tea, and to physically grab hold of everything, and with the water, with everything that's in that saucepan, to become one with everything. So there is no tea, there is no water, there is no spices. All we have there is a nice cup of jar. Okay, we call it jar. Some people call it chai. We in Punjabis, we call it jar. Okay, so I have to wait here now and let the milk come to a boil. It must come to a boil. I don't just like to leave it simmering now. I need it for it to come to a boil. It's probably been about 2-3 minutes, and I can see the way the milk is forming on top. Oh, here we go, it's breaking through, so it's going to come to a boil. Wow, that's so exciting. Again, depends on the power of your gas, so it could have happened earlier, it could happen later, but here it goes. And with my finger on the control, I've got to let it come to boil. I have to let it come to boil. It's boiling, come on. And slowly I turn the gas down. Wow, that was such a good climax. There, so I've turned the gas down, now lowered it. So now I need this to simmer. I need it to simmer at least for 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes, okay? And once again, you can let it simmer as long as you want. The more simmering it does, the more stronger it will become in flavor. The more darker it will go in color also, because the water will start to burn and the milk will start to burn as well. So I'm just gonna let it simmer, okay? Just don't touch it. A lot of people, you know, take the tea bags out or make it look all nice. I know it doesn't look very nice, but it's the taste that matters. But there you go. We're almost there, you know, stick with it. And in the meantime, please do subscribe to my channel. You know, other Indians watching out there, they might think, actually, you know, I would have done it like this, I would have done it like that. So please add to the comments wherever you are in the world. If you do it differently, then, you know, then share it. Share it with me, share it with us, share it with the world. And you can still see it simmering a little bit at a time. So that's my hand there, simmering. Oh, look at that. Yeah, slowly, slowly. You may think it's not doing anything, but it is doing something. So I'm going to give it about another minute or so before I take it off the hook. Very carefully, very gently. Remember, it's hot. Okay, so, and then move it over to the sink. So I'm going to put it in the sink area here. And then I'm going to pour that into a kettle. Okay, so again, this is our steel kettle. That's my steel kettle. And I pour it into steel kettle, but you can pour it into a posh kettle. You can pour it straight into a cup. You can do it whatever way that suits you. Okay, so most importantly, I've removed the tea bags. Sorry about the splash, it looks a bit messy, I know. I've removed the tea bags now because I'm gonna sieve the tea. You must sieve the tea. Remember, it's got all the spices and all the bits and bobs in there, so tea must be sieved, okay? So you've got to sieve the tea, so everything's left in the sieve. And only the tea, the liquid fluid tea goes through. And obviously if you've got too much, then you need to leave a little bit in there. Okay, here we go. Okay, now from the kettle, transfer it over to the cup. Whoops. Oh, yes, yes, yes. I'm waiting for you, tea. Sorry, yes, to do it over. No, my kettle's not very good. To all the people watching out there who are clean and spanking, this is... sorry, it's a man making this cup of tea. Not that I'm saying men are messy, but hey, you know, I'll clean up after. I just need to have my cup of tea first. And there you have it, my version of the perfect Indian cup of tea with the spices and everything else that needs to go in there. So all I've got to say is cheers. Yes, that's my own cup from my children. And like I said, you might want to spoon with it because if you don't like skin forming on top of the tea, so you might want to keep stirring it. I mean, I don't have a problem with that, but because there's milk in there, so you will have skin that may form as the tea is cooling down. So leaves me to say, ladies and gentlemen, cheers and enjoy making your cup of tea, and let me have your comments down below, see how you got on, and I can advise you just in case if it doesn't turn out right, let me know. Cheers.